Okay, welcome everybody. We've got some standard action here, round one finals between Bob Debonise at the top of the screen and Christopher Sandman at the bottom of the screen. Chris recorded this, so it's his hand that we're looking at. He's on mono red. Looks like Bob's on a variation of red black. Red deck wins for Chris by the looks of it. Seen an early start out the gates there. Bob on red black. I'm not really sure what his. He tends to change it up a little bit. Let me just update this format. But Chris is getting in the early hits here. So Bob's up to 3 mana. Azor's Gateway is going to enable him to draw cards. As down comes a Rekindling Phoenix, so he's starting to recover a bit here. Chris qualified for standard finals as the final wild card, whereas Bob is undefeated. He went through his West Division as a champion and didn't lose a single match in standard. One interesting thing he did mention in the podcast was that he lost his first game every time, but then he sideboards and gets the second game. You see Chandra coming down here. Chris just starting to suffer from a lack of lands. You can see he's got the answers. So Shock will finish off Chandra. But he just needs to get so he's hit the land now, so he's going to be able to play a few threats. 3 damage going to come across. He's got the Soul Scar Mage as well. It's going to come in summoning sickness. Bob though 2, 4, 5 lands. Azor's Gateway there. 2 Hazarets in hand is a bit awkward for Chris. Second Chandra now from Bob. What does he do this time? This time he pluses and adds double, so he's going to play a Glint Sleeve Siphoner. And is Phoenix going to get in? No, Phoenix is going to stay back to block this time. Down comes Hazaret, the special invocation version. Bob at 13, but Bob looks like he's going to stabilize here. Glint Sleeve Siphoner is going to start drawing his cards. He's got 2 left. He's no energy though. Still with that light, so he's going to be able to fire off the lightning strike here to activate Hazaret, and he's going to get some triggers on his Soul Scar Mages. So he's just going to remove that 4/3 block off for now. It's going to come back later though. But the crew's going to be able to get in. Chandra looks like she's dead. I actually would have probably been tempted to send everybody there at Bob's face. Would have knocked him down to 1 if there was no blocks. Actually, the Rekindling Phoenix is there. It's going to get a free block. And he's also going to give up the Glint Sleeve Siphoner. And that's a nice play. Scavenger Grounds will get rid of that Phoenix, so the Elemental's stuck there. Or Glory Bringer. So Bob's just starting to add a bit better quality to his board. They're talking about the elemental token. Does it still get sacrificed? I believe it says at the beginning of the ups, there's a check condition without looking at the card specifically. So the Glorybringer going to get in here, I suspect. Well, everybody's getting an 8 points of damage coming across. Another Earthshaker Kenra, so the Elemental's not going to be able to block here. But you can see there's actually lethal on board for Bob, so if Chris can't do 12 points of damage, which he can't, we're going to game 2. So, Chris on the play, he needs to win here to stay alive. Otherwise, Bob will be advancing to the next round of the finals. If I just bring up the standard, Chris actually defeated Tony Jackson, so this is the semi-final. The winner of this is advancing to the grand final. Chris is in his second year now. He started out in the New Players League and graduated up to join our one. Sweltering Suns is going to clear the board away. That's a crushing one. His own Rekindling Phoenix now from Chris. And he's got a second Rekindling Phoenix, but Vraska's Contempt is a clean answer to that. But there's going to be another one coming down to deal with. Bob with 3 cards left in hand, and there's a Hazaret in hand also for Chris. Azor's Gateway is going to draw a card, exile a card. Oh, he exiles a Glorybringer, that's an interesting one. Down comes the Aethersphere Harvester. And in comes the Rekindling Phoenix. So he can fire off a shock end of turn here, and then next turn if he draws a land he can play Hazaret. Now there's an interesting one here. I think he'd be tempted here to play Hazaret and get in, and then he can shock the what's he doing? He's going to activate the Aethersphere Harvester? I don't really get that one. Oh, he's trying to bait him, okay, so he can think Rekindling Phoenix can just bounce back here, but he can shock the elemental that it gets. So he's going to put Bob to 7, the elemental will come, shock the elemental, that's a nice play from Chris, well baited. And I think we might be going, in response, Bob's going to fatal push his own. Did he? No, he didn't. Okay. There's lethal on. There's not lethal on board. Okay, so Glorybringer is going to take down that elemental, so it won't be coming back. Bob's at 7. Now he's just dead because of the lightning strike. We're going to go to game 3. So here we go, game 3. Winner takes all. Whoever wins this is into the standard grand final. Harness Lightning, not mucking around there. Get the threat off the board straight away. The winner of this match, if I just bring up the standings again, the winner of this match meets the winner of Emerson Lardy and Felix Stenitzer in the grand final. Here's another Harness Lightning to take down the Harvester as it gets crewed by Karizev. And now a Glory Bringer's... Is he going to take down Curry? He does. So that will be... The Glory Bringer can't target the other Glory Bringer, as I discovered in another video. So it's kind of a race now. This is a mirror match. Glory Bringer into Chandra on both sides. There is a new rule coming here with Dominaria. Because what could happen there is the Chandra can plus exile the card and do the 2 damage to the other Chandra. That's not going to be possible with the new Dominaria rule. Well, but Chandra's going to be at a minus here on the Elemental. And Chris will be playing off the top of his deck against a Chandra and a Glory Bringer. Oh, he's going to do it the other way. Exile the graveyard. Lands are not what you want to find. This does not look good now for Chris Sandman. That lowly elemental just sitting there by itself. Bob 2 cards in hand. Chandra pluses. Passes the turn. Shock again not adequate. Swings a 0-1 at Chandra. He needs something desperately here. Chandra finds Azor's Gateway, so it plays the Gateway. 4 more damage coming in. Again, Soulscar Mage is not what the doctor ordered. I probably would have saved that shock and fired it off when Soulscar Mage can attack just to get the prowess trigger. Prowess trigger on the stack, Magma Spray exiles it. Azor's Gateway again will draw a card and has to exile one. Exiles in a Braid. Here comes Gonti, so this looks gone. Chris at 10. 8 damage coming across. Glint Sleeve Siphoner, it's just going from bad to worse. He'll probably have a look at one more card, and I think Bob is through to the standard grand final. He is. It's an Ethersphere Harvester. So Chris, I think he's facing lethal on board. Hazoret just to make sure of it. Magma Spray, triple make sure of it. Everybody's going to come across, and Bob into the grand final.